Hello, and welcome to my channel. It was Friday the 13th, August 13th, 2021. Kylen told friends at a local tavern that if something happens to her and her wife, that they were murdered, as she is already concerned about a creepy guy near their campsite. Crystal Beck, alias Crystal Turner, and Kylen Shulte turned and walked out the door that evening to head to their campsite. That was the last time that anyone would ever see them alive. The girls were scheduled to work, but they did not show up. They were reported missing, but officers had not found them yet. They were discovered on the 18th by Cindy Sue Hunter, who went out looking for them after seeing Kylen's father posting on social media that he was worried, that he had contacted the police, and that they had not been able to find his daughter as of yet. The girls both worked in Moab, Utah, and enjoyed camping outdoors and living the van life locally with a beautiful view. They were staying at a campsite with a creek running alongside of it with a view of the LaSalle Mountains, right by the Whispering Oaks Ranch. Kylen Schulte worked at the Moonflower grocery store, and she had worked there for 4 years. Crystal Turner worked at McDonalds in the kitchen and was about to start a new job at Trailhead Public House and Eatery, which is right there alongside of the Moonflower. The girls would soon have been working at locations within a short walk of each other. On Friday the 13th, at Whispering Pines, there were wedding guests arriving for the weekend wedding and celebrations. Whispering Pines overlooked the girls' campsite. Maybe a guest from the wedding has video footage from their vehicles or something in a photo showing someone who appears to be creepy or something that seems out of place. Maybe they noticed someone that just seemed out of place or acting strangely. It is even possible that a guest from the wedding decided to camp outside in an area close to the wedding and asked about the local campsites. Maybe they drove around trying to find a good campsite for the weekend nearby and saw something. Maybe some of the guests heard the gunshots and looked out and saw something. Maybe their vehicle recorded footage while they were driving around that weekend. Perhaps they do not feel that there is anything on it, but maybe they could copy the footage and turn it in so the police could look at it just in case there is something there. I do not believe that they have arrested or charged anyone for the girls' murders yet. We would not want this to happen to someone else, so hopefully whoever did this is caught very soon. Crystal and Kylen had been together for about 2 years as a couple, and they had only been married for 4 months. Crystal Beck Turner was 38 years old, and Kylen Schulte was only 24 years old. So young to have had her life just snatched away from her like that. Their bodies were found near their campsite, riddled with bullets in their chests, their sides, and their backs, perhaps as they tried to run. They were naked from the waist down, and at least one of their shirts were lifted up, as if someone might have raped them, although that information has not yet been released. It was the 18th, and by then, the wedding from the weekend was over, and everyone who had stayed at Whispering Pines or camped nearby had gone home. Cindy Sue Hunter, who knew the girls and their dad, went looking for them alone, worried that perhaps they had broke down or wrecked and were stranded. She packed food and beverages out of love and concern. She took some blankets and grabbed a shovel in case they needed to get their Kia Sorento unstuck or something. She drove around for almost 5 hours looking for the girls, stopping people to show them photos and to ask if anyone had seen them. She pulled into their campsite to ask whoever was camping there if they had seen them. She saw the Kia and looked in, not knowing if it was the girls or not. She did not see anyone around and noticed that things just did not seem right. She said that their tent was opened in a way that just seemed wrong. She called the police to tell them that she had found the girls' campsite, but that the girls were nowhere to be seen. The police kept her on the phone while they pinned her location and said for her just to stay there and someone would be on the way. She said she stayed there and waited, she believes, for over an hour. Meanwhile, she called Kylen and Schulte's dad, Sean Paul Schulte, to tell him that she had found the girls' campsite and that she did not see the girls anywhere. She was talking to Kylen's dad as she walked around looking. She noticed clothing on the ground underneath a tree. Looking back now, perhaps it was the girls' clothing that were removed by the person who killed them. As she walked around talking to him on the phone, she noticed a package of Gatorades opened and scattered about on the ground. Perhaps the murderer had gotten thirsty. Hopefully his DNA and fingerprints were left on an empty bottle or lid. Cindy looked and saw the creek just beyond the Gatorade scattered on the ground, and it was then that she noticed Kylen's body, the body of her friend. She looked quickly away as she went into shock, and she began to mumble about the creek, not wanting to look back or to even tell Kylen's dad over the phone what she had just seen. How do you tell someone that? When she was able to tell him, he started screaming at her to get into her car and to lock the doors, as she might be in danger herself. When the police finally arrived and went to look for Crystal's body, the officer returned to Cindy with his lip trembling, pointing down at his side, and unable to speak as he seemed to have gone into shock himself. Yes, he is a police officer, and this is his job, but he is still a man, and just as human as the rest of us, and it seems that he was horrified to see people that he knew murdered in such a way. Not only were those two young girls' lives taken from them, but another lady will be forever haunted by terrifying memories of the things that she has seen. Who could be capable of doing such a thing? Are they still out there? Can you possibly help to put them away? And maybe you don't even know it yet. If you were there and you have some sort of photos with people or cars in the background, then perhaps you can and you don't even know it. Moab, Utah is after all a very small community with only around 5,000 residents. If you have information, any information, even if you feel it may be insignificant, then please contact the local authorities and or Kylen's dad. He traveled to Moab and sat outside every day for a while, trying to gather information, some sort of clue to see if anyone knew anything to help him find out who killed his daughter. Do not think that too much is timed or that the information you have is useless, as you just never know. Maybe your photo or camera caught someone in the background that they were looking for a photo or footage to prove that they were there to catch a suspect. Maybe they were in the area then. Maybe a person or vehicle or even a motorcycle is in your footage. Sometimes someone is there and you cannot see them, but maybe they can zoom in using some sort of software. Please note that I am not certain of the accuracy of the information provided and is just to be considered hearsay and allegedly. I want to thank you and tell you how much I appreciate you tuning into my channel. I am a very small YouTube channel and I greatly appreciate you. Peace out and bye-bye.